Welcome to History Explained, where we illuminate the past to better understand our present. I'm your guide to your daily journey through the past to empower the future. Today is Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. As we do every Sunday, we're exploring a revolutionary innovation that has fundamentally changed how humans document, communicate, and understand their world. Today, we turn our attention to the development of photography, the groundbreaking technology that captured light permanently for the first time in human history. From the camera obscura to digital imaging, photography revolutionized art, journalism, science, and personal memory in ways that continue to shape our visual culture. What makes photography particularly significant is how it democratized image making while fundamentally altering humanity's relationship with visual representation. Photography provided unprecedented accuracy in recording reality while simultaneously raising new questions about truth, artistry, and the nature of images themselves. So let's explore this transformative innovation, examining the scientific discoveries that made photography possible, its rapid evolution throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, and its profound impact on society and culture. The story of photography begins with the ancient observation that light entering a dark chamber through a small hole creates an inverted image on the opposite wall. This phenomenon, known as the camera obscura, was documented by Chinese philosopher Mozi in the 5th century BCE and later studied by Aristotle and Arab scientists. By the Renaissance, artists were using camera obscura devices to aid in creating accurate perspective drawings. However, these images remained temporary and could not be preserved permanently, requiring artists to trace them by hand while the light conditions remained constant. The breakthrough toward permanent photography came from chemistry rather than optics. In 1727, German scientist Johann Heinrich Schultz discovered that silver salts darkened when exposed to light, establishing the photochemical principle that would make photography possible. The first permanent photograph was created by French inventor Nicephore Niepce in 1826 using a process he called heliography. His image, View from the Window at Le Gras, required an 8-hour exposure and produced a barely visible result, but it proved that light could create lasting images. Niepce partnered with Louis Daguerre, who refined the process after Niepce's death in 1833. Daguerre's Daguerreotype process, announced publicly in 1839, reduced exposure times to minutes while producing sharp, detailed images on silver-plated copper sheets. The Daguerreotype announcement created immediate global excitement. The French government purchased Daguerre's patent and released it freely to the world, recognizing photography's potential benefits for science, art, and documentation. Within months, Daguerreotype studios opened in major cities worldwide. However, Daguerreotypes were expensive, fragile, and produced only single unique images. British inventor William Henry Fox Talbot developed an alternative process using paper negatives that could produce multiple positive prints, establishing the negative-positive system that dominated photography until digital imaging. The 1850s brought significant improvements in photographic processes. Frederick Scott Archer's wet plate collodion process combined the sharpness of daguerreotypes with the reproducibility of Talbot's system, while reducing exposure times and costs significantly. Photography's impact on society was immediate and profound. Portrait photography democratized image-making, allowing middle-class families to afford what had previously been available only to the wealthy through painted portraits. Photography studios became common fixtures in cities and towns. The medium also revolutionized documentation and journalism. Photographers began recording historical events, social conditions, and distant places with unprecedented accuracy. The American Civil War became the first conflict extensively documented by photographers, bringing the reality of war to civilian audiences. Scientific applications emerged quickly as photographers captured astronomical phenomena, microscopic subjects, and motion studies impossible to observe with the naked eye. Edward Muybridge's sequential photographs of galloping horses settled debates about animal locomotion while pioneering motion photography techniques. The invention of flexible film by George Eastman in the 1880s democratized photography further. His Kodak camera, marketed with the slogan, "You press the button, we do the rest," made photography accessible to amateur users who could take pictures without understanding complex chemical processes. Color photography developed gradually through the late 19th and early 20th centuries. While early color processes were complex and expensive, they demonstrated photography's potential to capture reality with even greater fidelity than black and white images. The 20th century brought electronic and digital innovations that would ultimately transform photography entirely. Television technology led to electronic image sensors, while computer development enabled digital image processing and storage that revolutionized both professional and amateur photography. Digital photography, emerging in the 1990s, eliminated film entirely while providing instant results, unlimited experimentation opportunities, and global image sharing capabilities. The integration of cameras into smartphones made photography ubiquitous, with billions of images created daily worldwide. Photography's cultural impact extends far beyond technical innovation. The medium has shaped how we perceive reality, document history, and express artistic vision. Photography has influenced painting, literature, and other art forms while creating entirely new forms of visual communication. The development also raised important questions about truth and representation. While photographs seem to provide objective documentation, they actually reflect the photographer's choices about framing, timing, and processing. These considerations became increasingly important as digital manipulation made image alteration virtually undetectable. Today, photography continues evolving through artificial intelligence, computational imaging, and new display technologies. However, the fundamental principle discovered by early pioneers, that light can create permanent images, remains at the heart of this transformative technology. Photography demonstrates how scientific discovery, technological innovation, and cultural need can combine to create revolutionary changes in human capability. From Niepce's first blurry image to today's instant global photo sharing, photography has fundamentally altered how we see, remember, and communicate our world. Thank you for joining us for this exploration of photography's development. Tomorrow, we'll be back with our This Day in History episode where we'll be examining the significant events that occurred on August 4th throughout history. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how photography has influenced modern culture and communication. Until next time, I'm your guide for History Explained, where we believe that understanding yesterday is the key to navigating tomorrow.